Welcome to Top Media Technology. Okay, after successful installation of local server, the next step is to install the WordPress. So let's go back to the download folder on your local computer. On the download folder, you're going to see the WordPress file. Let's copy it. Okay, so we are pasting a particular location called htdoc folder in our C drive. Depending on what you have on your computer, might be C drive, but for this training, we have F drive that we are using. So you can see the logo there, Windows Video. So whatever you have your partition on your computer, so you check. So this is where we are going to see the SAM folder. So click on it and locate the htdoc folder there. Here you can see that. Click on it. So this is where we are going to paste the WordPress folder in the htdoc SAM folder. So for more naming convention, let's create a new folder and then rename it. So you can name it anything you want, right? So let's just name it site for this training purpose. So we're gonna paste it here. Just open and paste the folder. Okay, so give it some time. So it's good for you to create a folder and name it so that you can have it numbered or named, because in case you want to create another website, you have to create another folder for that. So it will help you to arrange your folder very well. So open it and then cut this out and paste it out of the folder where you have pasted it. So then you can now delete the main folder WordPress. So now what we have here is the XAMPP htdoc site. Inside the site we have a WordPress config files. All right, so then if you take a step backward, you can see the folder name site, and if you open it, you can see whatever the WordPress contained in that earlier folder we pasted. So now let's proceed to the next step. Let's go to our installer, go to your browser depending on the browser you are using. So let's go to localhost on the URL. So the folder we created that we pasted the WordPress is called site. So let's type in site. Okay, so this is this folder, this is the part we are calling. So when you click enter, you should be able to load whatever WordPress has with it. So this is the beginning page, landing page. We can call it admin page. So let's continue. Choose the language and continue. Select the language that prefer or that speaks to you, then click on continue. So take notes, we need to create a database. I told you. So take a look at the number item 1 to 5. These are the database information. So let's open a new tab for our database for us to create that. So now here is localhost PHP MySQL, because earlier I told you the prerequisite we need to be using for database. We are using PHP MySQL, right? So it's PHP MySQL admin. Then you take it to the landing page. So here is where you're going to create the database. Click on databases, give it a name. Take note of all the information you are putting here, right? You can document it. So for this training, you are going to name it okay, so depending on the whatever name you want. So we have created this and take note of it. Let's copy it before we click on create. So after creating, so the next thing is to come back to this WordPress landing page so that our website can communicate with the database name we have created. So let's proceed. Now this is where you're going to put the name you just created for the database. So you can paste what you have copied. Okay, you can see the name we created. Yeah, highlighted there on the left hand side. ASN. It's okay. So Let's paste it here. Okay, so this is the database name that we created. So let's put the username based on what you want. But for now, for this training is roots, and the password is, you can just make it empty for the sake of this training. Then you proceed. Take notes of the information you just dropped. So now you saying we are all right. We are moving forward. So run the installation. So this page is where you are going to put your website um, information. Right. So scroll down. You have site title, username. That website title is the title of your website. Depending on whatever you want to name your site. If you have a business, if you have a brand, whatever you want to use your website, you can just find a name and give it to it. And that name is what you will see on the website for people to call on the internet. So let's just put this name food supply, for instance. Then let's add the username. Okay. So you just use this information as password, depending on whatever password you want. You can create the one that is simple or complex depending on what you are doing. So we use this as a password. Okay, now scroll down, confirm the password by inputting it, or you just check. Okay, check the confirm password. Then the search engine visibility help you to get your site online. But for now, we are doing this development on the local server on your local machine, right? It's not on the internet for now. So by the time we are done, everything is run within our computer. We have not deployed it on the internet yet. So let's put the email address for us to proceed. This email address is like an admin email address for your website. In case people want to reach out to you, or people want to get in touch and ask 1 or 2 questions from you, that is the email address. So click on install WordPress. Okay, I think we need to see how we can increase the complexity of this password so that we can proceed. Okay, beautiful. So it has been installed successfully. Now the next thing we're going to do is let's log into the backend. Click on let's go. So this is the backend of WordPress. Here you're going to put the email address. That is the username we created earlier when we are installing the WordPress. So that is what I said. Take note of all your information you are putting at this time, because you're going to use them to log into the environment. So the same password, corresponding password that you created, so you can remember me, or you can just ignore. Just click on login. So this is the backend of WordPress, right? This is the more of WordPress admin backend. This is where you do all the magic. This is where you bring up the idea and it surfaces and it shows on the front end for people to see. So let's go to home page, or you can just open a new tab so that you can have multiple tabs open for easy navigation. So basically see the home page. This is hosted on your local machine, right? And it's working fine on your local machine. As you look at it, it can be open on the browser on your local machine, not yet on the internet. If you don't have internet on your computer, this will work, right? So just take note of the database name and password, root and empty password, because we are using local server. When we are going live, we have to make it more complex. You have to make sure you have a password. But for now, for this training, the database username is root and then empty password. So we also created admin password. So make sure you take note of all those information, because you need them. You will need them for entering all this information. So write it down, remember them, and make sure you put it the right information, the right username and password when needed. So now we'll be moving on to the next one, next tutorial. But here you can see, and then we can also compare Joomla and WordPress that we have mentioned earlier. All right, so thank you so much. Subscribe and share. Bye.